A Bangor man accused of beating and stabbing his friend to death in 2024 appearing before a judge today. The attorneys represented Gary Brinson filed a motion to suppress statements Brinson made during interviews after the death of 64-year-old Lee Rona. Both men lived in different units of an apartment building on Union Street. The defense is questioning the wording around multiple interviews conducted before Brinson was arrested. Court documents say Brinson told police he and Rona were both combat veterans who drank to forget their PTSD and did so heavily the day before. The state had a Bangor police detective testify and provided audio of conversations between Brinson and police.
We hope that the judge suppresses the statements. There's a total of 2 from the 5th of December that we're looking to be suppressed. And if those are suppressed, it means that can't be presented at trial and therefore change how our case gets presented.
They're hoping to get a ruling from the judge within the next week. Brinson's trial starts February 23rd.